Welcome back to the Deal Vault podcast. If you're a real estate investor looking to scale, secure funding, and learn from real deals, you're in the right place. I'm Greg, and together with Nate and Sarah, we'll sit down each week and break down market trends, funding strategies, real deal stories from our investors. Now, if you're ready to unlock knowledge, relationships, and capital you need, let's open the vault.
Welcome back to the Deal Vault podcast brought to you by LoanBidz. I'm Sarah Downey with my co-host Greg Downey. We're missing one of our fellow co-hosts, Nate, who's recovering from knee surgery, but we've got one of our incredible team members, Andy Pham, with us today. Andy, I would love, I'm big on origin stories, and I think our team is kind of built on some fun mortgage misfits. And so I would love for you to just share a little bit about who you are and how you got here, and even just kind of what your personal why is for being in this space.
Well, hey guys, how you doing? Never thought I'd be on one of these, but
You're a big deal now.
Yeah,
hey,
You-
big deal.
but a little bit about me, where I'm from. Yeah, I've just been in Missouri almost all my life. Straight out of college, went to Missouri State. Went for finance, corporate investments, but realized that real estate is the thing I wanted to do the most. So
Yeah. So you're not as much of a misfit as us, it sounds like.
yeah,
You have more credentials than the two people on this couch is with you, just
Really?
letting you know. Yeah.
Oh.
We should just let him be the boss. How about
Yes.
that? Yeah.
Nursing school degree here. Yeah.
Yeah. So was your family all from Missouri, or where kind of was your family? How'd they get to the Missouri area?
Mhm.
Well, it's really interesting. So, my parents they came from Vietnam. They were born there. So, whenever the war came, they were refugees and they came to, I believe, it was San Jose, California first.
Yeah.
Nice.
They lived there for a couple years. I still have a lot of family there in San Jose,
That's awesome.
but they eventually migrated, so south and then went a little bit east.
Yeah.
I don't know, found their way in Missouri. I just got family everywhere. You got some California, Texas, Arkansas, Missouri.
Yeah.
And tell you what, I got 14 aunts and uncles.
Big
Here.
family. That's
Big-
incredible. So, did you have any personal connections to real estate, like any family members? Was there something like what was the reason why, anything personal that made you say, "Hey, I want to do finance, I want to do real estate because of this experience with someone," or anything that kind of brought that to the surface?
Yeah. The main reason I wanted to get into real estate is I, I I've been just watching a lot of not only podcasts but YouTube videos,
Yeah.
success stories of real estate here in my family. My parents, not only my parents but my aunts and uncles also owning rentals, and
Yeah.
how their history with it went, how successful they become.
Yeah.
It just was a big inspiration for me and how I wanted
That's
to get
incredible.
into it. So
Well, you've definitely showed up on our team in ways that I think, you're the young guy, you're kind of new, but you already had some expertise that maybe some of the rest of our team didn't have, which is awesome. But just the drive that you've had, you've kind of become the target that everyone's trying to chase, which is fun, because you're so kind and courteous, and it's easy to just kind of be like, oh, we got to get Andy, but I know that comes from somewhere, probably that passion, family experience, and drive that you have. But just we would love to hear a little bit more about your experience kind of coming into the LoanBidz team, right? You had all of that knowledge and education. You had just some, family members that were really successful in their personal entrepreneurial business and investing also in real estate. So, how have you seen that kind of contribute to your personal success on this team? Maybe let's start with that first.
yeah. So I mean, where do I start here? Joining the LoanBidz team, it feels great. Like I we're gonna fix you. Yeah, sure. I hear you. There you go.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I mean, I took a lot of my personality, my hard work and ethic, into the workplace.
Yeah.
Just starting here, I was really lost. I I didn't know I was getting into the DSCR industry, fix and flip industry. I never knew it existed. So
Yeah.
when I first joined, I was like, well, what the hell am I doing here?
The fire hose, they call it. Like
The fire-
it's strong. Like what in the world? Your head spins quite a bit. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And after learning more about it, I saw the potential, and I was like, huh, this is something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
One thing I was just always good at is just being really good at using technology. One thing, fostering relationships, just treating every, client and every coworker as a friend.
Yeah.
That's helped me, build the most, starting here. Um, just asking a lot of questions has just really helped me
Mm.
move up the chain.
Yeah.
And I continue to just keep building relationships. I treat every new stranger like a friend
Yeah.
so that they feel like they're at home. Because like at the end of the day, we're not only selling the product, but we're also selling our time.
Yeah.
Being there for them is the biggest thing you can do. Like like texting a buddy, after hours. Uh,
Mhm.
not many people do that.
Yeah.
Not many people are going to be there on the dot. I just think that just goes a long way.
That's
And
huge.
I just learning a lot from the coworkers really just helped me.
Yeah. And I mean, that's really powerful. And I think you make it sound really simple and easy because I think it's just a part of who you are.
Mm.
Because you definitely like showed up day one that way. And I don't know if it's just your family and just how you guys all show up for each other. Like, but that's not the easiest for everyone, right? And it does take more work. It comes easy to you because it's a part of who you are. But I think just some of those like principles that you shared, like that's where success has been given to you, right? It's just the little things that you are like, "This is just who I am. How could I show up any differently?" But that's really it's a powerful leadership tool too,
Mm.
because it isn't easy for everybody to show up that way, right? And for everybody to feel like, "I trust this person. Like, they actually care. They're there for me." And especially when you throw real estate at that, it can be really chaotic, and it can be harder to pause and have those moments of just, "I'm here for you,"
Yeah.
when it's hitting the fan some days, And so, I guess maybe how has that challenged you, right? I know we love to share real deals, and you've probably had even your superpowers of being courteous to everyone, compassionate and caring and curious, right? Like, very curious, like, that is super helpful. But how have you seen that kind of hit the real estate world and be like, "Ooh, even I'm, like, strained a little bit because of the deal itself, and how have you used those superpowers to support your borrowers maybe with the deal?"
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the first deals I've ever closed, it was the first deal I ever closed.
Woo!
It's a 4 unit, it was a 4 unit residential building in a rural town. I believe it was Garden City, Missouri.
Yeah,
Population was
Huge,
only a
big
couple
time.
thousand.
big on that.
And it was also zoned commercial. So, yeah, I was only in the job for what, 2 months at this time.
Yes,
And
the
I was
fire hose was still like
You got this. I think you got it.
And I was like, I got this, I'm gonna just get all the details first, talk to the borrower, get his trust and, be a friend. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I did. And then I worked it step by step. That's how you got to do things. Just step by step, get all the details, and then ask questions to those who can help you. In which I was so thankful to have Nate on my team,
Yeah,
and he guided me
that's awesome.
through this deal. Um, it's definitely helped me. 'Cause I wouldn't know where to place it really, so,
Yeah,
I mean, one of the programs we had is able to provide financing at that time. Well, it was up to, like, 65% leverage
yeah,
for, like, it was a town of, like, 2,000 people.
yeah,
There was enough comps in the area. We were able to get it done, um, since there were enough comps. And then we provided a letter from the city stating that if the building was it demolished, it can be rebuilt into or in
Residential.
residential.
Yeah.
Variance
Yeah.
letter. Yeah, super cool. That's actually comes up regular. This is called a variance letter. I was-
Your first deal had some of the more
yeah,
complex for even like people that have been in this industry for a long time. So, you took it head on, but like he was saying, it's there's some complex things that Greg will kind of shed some light on, but this was not an easy deal to start.
yeah. I mean that's a tough solution to get to,
Yeah.
and to be. I'm telling you, so many people just give up on that deal. It's like this is gonna be a pain in the butt. The city's gonna. What do they care? I got to get this, blah, blah, blah. And it's, what happens if this gets burned down? Can you rebuild that same exact thing that we are now finding, right? You got insurance for it to get that letter of rebuild or letter of variance from current zoning. Super important to be able to have. I was actually going to ask, like, hey, how do we get that done? But I remember talking to Nate about that, is we got to get the letter of variance.
Just
letter. But realistically, like a lot of cities won't do it. So it's not even worth asking. Well, that's not how you function. You say, if that's what it takes, that's what we're gonna push for. Um, why not try? Like let's figure out how to get this done. And we got the letter of variance, submit it in, and close the deal, right?
Yeah, we're close.
That's it.
Everything has been easy since, right? No, not everything, but you did start with a tricky one, again, and I think for investors listening, those are some components that we interact with. So just to add some education layers on there of like, how do you even know, what you can and can't do within the space? So in the conventional world, rural properties are not as big of a deal because it's for a homeowner. But in our space, we're talking about revenue, right? We're talking about cash flows. And in more rural markets, there may be less tenant-based population there. And so it carries a little bit more risk for investors and for them, right? The risk that the investors have is the same for them to get income. What investor base are they looking at to rent this property? Probably less. So if you know that you're in a rural market, which to drop this, we had one borrower call it not rural, it's exclusive. If you're in a rural or exclusive market, you do have to be more aware that your program options are going to be a little bit more limited because we're talking about cash flow based properties. So again, you were hit with that. And then we're talking zoning. So we've, like Greg was saying, on appraisals, sometimes it'll ask for the highest and best use. And if the zoning is commercial, and it were to burn down, then the highest and best use for that land is now commercial. It's not residential anymore. And so it is important if you have the tools to just do a basic property search on the property, especially if you're buying it. That's really where the problems happen because sometimes investors don't look at that and maybe they get a loan or they pay cash and then they come to refi with us and it's like, oh, your options are actually limited because this zoning is mismatched. So if this building that you just put all this money into rehab was, matched earlier, that it was an issue. Maybe you wouldn't have bought it this way. Maybe you would had the seller do something or would have gotten this variance letter earlier versus when the appraisal drops in our lap and everything. So again, those are complex problems to solve and your confidence and the way you said, "Hey, this is above my level right now with my experience. Teammate, help me." And it sounds like it may have even trickled up to leadership, which is just a level of, hey, this is not something that comes up every day. Unfortunately, it just fell on your lap with one of the first deals, but you honed into your superpowers, you created that connection with the borrower, you recognized when you couldn't figure it out by yourself, so you looked to somebody else to support you, and you made sure it got done, right? So, but again, just for investors listening, those are both complex things that you should probably be aware of before you look at an investment deal and just know that coming to LoanBidz, coming to Andy, he's going to have to do some problem solving with the product, with the process, potentially to support in that. So, yeah, no, I think that's awesome. So, tell me a little bit about wrapping up, right? You got the variance letter. How did that support the relationship and your superpower that you built with that customer, after you got it done? Were you able to kind of explain in the middle, like, hey, here's what we're doing. Here's, how we can get it done. I guess maybe kind of finish the story on how that deal made it across the finish line.
Yeah, I mean, once we provided that variance letter to underwriting, they just gave us a thumbs up,
Nice.
really, and the borrower was just so stoked,
Yeah.
and I able to do more deals with them in the future with which I was blessed. So
Stoked means happy for those that are not with it.
That's not too young of a word, it could be, but yeah.
yeah, it was a part of a two-pack deal in that location, and we were able to cash out on both of those properties.
Nice.
So that was good.
Yeah.
He used the funds for more investing in the future. Um, it wasn't the longest process. I mean, it wasn't the fastest process. It was fairly tough because we did have to talk with the city and whatnot to go through underwriting and back and
Yeah.
forth. But yeah, overall, just taking time and you know, just earning the client's trust has just really helped me.
That's awesome. Yeah. How, kind of transitioning a little bit back to your story, obviously you helped a client. You had family, you personally, right, were thinking about real estate, not just to be a mortgage professional, but for yourself. How have you seen just some of the education and experience that you've built over your time at LoanBidz now, uh, to help support your own personal investments or your family, right? And educating them. I would love to hear how that is, collaborated more.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I I taught my parents I showed them what a DSCR loan was,
Yeah.
and they never knew what it was
Yeah.
for the longest time. They've been doing financing through conventional,
Mm.
and I don't know, a lot of people just don't like, you know, how conventional works, like how you have to provide tax returns or check your if you have a W-2 job or 1099.
Yeah.
But on
And a
personal
lot of people
credit.
just don't like to provide those documents at all.
Yeah.
Parents just
Hated it.
absolutely
Because
hate it.
because they're business owners outside of real estate. So every time they get a rental loan, they have to show what their whole rental portfolio, all their business taxes. It's a lot of paperwork. So yeah, that's kind of what you're saying. They don't love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot to take in for them. So after I can explain to them, like, it's mainly an asset-based loan. They're looking at the cash flow of the property. If that's enough to cover, what the mortgage, taxes, insurance, then you're golden.
Yeah.
I mean, assuming it's in a good location too. Yeah, I mean, they like to, proceed with that.
That's
Making
awesome.
sure
Yeah,
there's just unlimited opportunity,
it is.
and really, you can do as many as you want as long as you have the liquidity.
Yeah, there's a lot more for the hardworking people like your parents out there that were already doing real estate or want to do real estate. It just allows them to use their capital a lot quicker and, to scale up faster in ways that are less time consuming from the other things that require their attention, like, a W-2 job or their other companies, right? It gives them more opportunity to do it faster. It gives you more opportunity too, it gives all of us more opportunity. It's just such a young industry and a space that so many people are still not educated on it, which feels really awesome when you're in our seat. It's just like, let me just tell you about this really cool thing that you could use to your advantage. So, no, that's awesome. That's fun, and it'll be exciting to see again how you continue to grow with that, how it supports your family. What are some takeaways that you would give to an investor, your friends, right? Um, Kinda like your family, like, what's a kind of parting piece of advice that you would give to them if you were talking directly to them in this moment?
Yeah.
"Hey, this is what I think would be important for you to know."
Yeah. Something I like to tell, even to like new investors or new people I talk to, it's just like the number one thing you can really do is just build your connections. So whether it be realtors, your your financing options, like which we can help with. I mean, you have multiple people. You got people who can, inspect properties, property managers, just friends all around, friends and family. You need also not only that, but just building your liquidity is gonna help you, get into real estate. Without liquidity, you just can't do anything really. So,
Yeah.
just really keep building those connections, making a lot of friends. Just like even if it's just a quick call, quick hey, and then you got their contact, you can just keep them in mind for the future.
For
So
sure. No, that's awesome.
that's the number one thing to do.
Which, if you're watching the video of this, you'll see that we have some fun accessories today. And another superpower that, before we even started talking, that I just, encouraged you, Andy, that you had is you came in with your culture and with your family at the forefront. And you have a way to connect with people that honestly I'm jealous of. I'm like, man, you get that life, right? That grind, the refugee coming into America and seeing what your family built. And you have something that very few of us have. But I think honestly, there's so many investors with similar stories as you, similar family backgrounds, similar just cultural experience. And we're lucky to have you on our team. But I just wanted to call it out because we have, you came right in and said, "This is who I am. Who are you?"
Yeah.
How did you introduce yourself to the team when you came in? Because it fits your hat that you brought in yourself. What is your nickname?
Yeah, how I introduce myself to the team. Hey, Asian Andy.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. How you doing?
Yeah. How are you
Hey.
doing? Yeah. So I love that we have such a gift of that in you. And, I hope if you're an investor out there and you are listening and you have a similar story to Andy, like reach out to him. But you have that superpower of really understanding just anyone that has come kind of from that background of like starting fresh, starting new, lots of unknowns. You have that perspective. We're going to figure this out. We will figure it out. And you have the family aspect. I know you say, I just treat them like a friend, but I think you treat people like family. So I think it's even deeper than that. So again, if you're out there and you are looking for not just an advisor, but just an advisor that feels like family, Andy's your guy. He's great to reach out to. And if you're just an investor that's like, how do I figure out this deal, right? It's rural. It's a commercial zoning weird thing. Like we want to be the problem solvers for you. So reach out to us and we would love to help. So yeah, thanks again, Andy, for joining us today, sharing your story, sharing your deal. We really appreciate it. So yeah, thanks again. Yeah.
Thanks for listening to The Deal Vault. If you found value in today's episode, be sure to subscribe and share with another investor and leave us a review. If you're looking for help funding your next deal, you can always holler at us at LoanBidz.com. We'd love to help you on that deal. Until next time, keep building, keep investing.